Hey, what's up, y'all? It's AJ Vibes, and we are back with another episode of this beginner content creation series. I'm in Anaheim, California, and I'm here at the NAMM show, and I'm just so excited to be here. We got a whole bunch of different musicians, artists, creators, and brands out here to basically showcase all the new stuff that they have to offer to you guys, all the new things they've been working on throughout the year, and it's just a great way to engage with the community. And that's actually what this episode is about. This episode is how to engage with your community in a way that's authentic, in a way that shows your true self. A lot of times when people come out to events like this, they get really scared and feel like they have to, show some fake version that impresses other people. But honestly, the best way to have connections here, the best way to make an impact and to start to actually grow your network and start to grow your community is to just be your most authentic self. As you guys know, that's what I run by. That's my whole motto, creativity defined by me. And I want to teach you guys how to define creativity for yourself and feel confident in doing so. So without further ado, let's get into it. So when you go to events like this, you want to make sure that you are checking whatever app or schedule that they have so that you're able to bookmark the specific panels and things that you find interesting, so that you're able to actually be in a space where the events matter to you. There's a lot of easy ways to network here, but the first thing I did, I went on the app and I bookmarked all the different panels that I thought were actually pretty interesting. I found some that talked about content creation. I found some that were talking about songwriting. I found some that were talking about just building a better portfolio online. And this allowed me to have more genuine connections with the people that I was actually trying to get to know. People that you just happen to sit next to who are all kind of here for the same reasons. It's not awkward it is awkward sometimes to go up and to talk to people about what you're interested in, but a huge portion of that is also just being able to talk about things that you actually feel comfortable with, things that you know. And when you're in a space where other people who, are here to network and here to grow their community, you can talk about things that you guys are both related in and you don't have to really ask, what you're here for in that way. I would say the second thing that's pretty interesting would also just be learning more about your own particular craft and being okay with things that you don't know. When you engage with people and they give you more information, let them know the things that you know so that they can, re-engage with you, so they can offer you tips on things that they have gone through and you can offer tips on things that you've gone through. No two people necessarily have the same story or have the same upbringing, so this is a fun way and a really insightful way to just get more information in a way that doesn't feel so disconnected. These are people who have been through the same problems that you have and are most of the time more than willing to help. And this just fosters a better relationship between you and the other people that you're actually trying to get to know. The third thing I would have to say about trying to build this community is you want to do it in a way that shows everything that you are. So a lot that came up actually during this convention was us talking about if we're extroverted or introverted. And I think everyone is sort of a hybrid of the two. It just depends on how you balance out each one and what social situations allow you to be which one you feel most comfortable in. And when I started to meet up with people in the groups and stuff like that, we would talk about it so that when we would go to network with other people in the same group, we would kind of bounce off of each other. If we knew that someone was feeling a little bit more nervous, we would try to make the first introduction so that other people who are also there wouldn't feel as awkward and they would feel more comfortable engaging in the conversation. You don't want to take up too much space. You want to allow for everyone to have their ability to talk because that's just the right thing to do. We're not all here just to make one person, prop them up on our shoulders. We all want to grow together. We want to have our hands with each other so that we can grow in community. And this is just really important. So learning the social dynamics, learning about how people actually vibe with one another, if you're introverted, extroverted, or whatever, is going to allow you to have a better reflection of who you are, a better reflection of the community that you want to be involved in, and how you can be a help. There are certain things about you that may be interesting to someone else that you may have never thought in that way. So you just got to be open to having that experience, being open to understanding about that social dynamic and just being everything that you can be. Something I will say about this entire process, though, is going to be a little bit of getting you out of your comfort zone. Like I said earlier, like introvert, extrovert, try to figure out what you are. In certain social situations, some people are just not going to feel as comfortable to, lead that conversation. But I think it's important to at least put yourself in a space where maybe those interactions can happen naturally. Like one of the first nights of this convention and the stage, I went out to one of the networking events, and it was really special because I happened to invite other people to the same networking event so that I would feel more comfortable in that same space, and we all had our own natural and normal interactions with one another, and we're also able to have those actions with ourselves. Something I will say about this entire process is that you have to get comfortable being slightly uncomfortable. By that I mean, one of the first nights that I was here, we went out to a networking event where typically that's not going to be my vibe, I guess I'd say. Like I said before, you figure out if you're an introvert or an extrovert, but in this particular scenario, it was for an event that I really didn't know anybody there. I had already previously decided to invite some people to come out to the same event, but not as many people said they were able to go. But I just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself. And I ended up going to the event, and it changed my entire week. I'm going to let you know right now. I met 3 really great people from Canada, and we just happened to talk about our love for music, what we were doing in the industry, things that we were related to, and that completely like changed my outlook on the week. I had met these folks, I took a picture for them, and they invited me to this mixer, and I didn't really know anybody, but I decided to go anyways. And we ended up just having like our social little hub where we were able to all bounce ideas off of each other. We were able to talk to new artists, talk to new people, and just have a better vibe overall in the space, which made all of us just feel more comfortable networking with everybody else as well. So it was a pretty dope experience. Definitely recommend 10 out of 10. Putting yourself in situations where you're safe, but being slightly comfortable, being just a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, I'd say another thing about engaging with your community is just making sure that you're going to remember the faces of the people you've seen before. That's a big thing. It's always awkward when you walk up to somebody and you can't really remember. The good thing about this conference is everybody has name tags, so you can get a quick little look and you can see. But beyond that, just try to remember people. You never know what connection you can have with somebody that might be important, and it's nice that when someone remembers you. How good does it feel when someone calls out your name and you remember the memory that they gave you about how that interaction was nice? One thing that I experienced when I was here was that there was a bunch of faces that I saw from the previous times I've been at NAMM, and it was a great experience for me to see them again because we can talk about the journey that we've been on. We can talk about all the things we've overcome in the past year or the past years that we haven't seen them in a while. So just having that community is important, remembering the people in the community, and just trying to stay in contact with people, and not like in a fake way, trying to figure out like, oh, how can I hustle up to the top? But you're doing it in a way that makes people understand that like, hey, I value you as a human being, I value you as a creative, and I want to make sure you know that you got a fan out there. You got somebody that's also trying to see you win, just like you're trying to see me win. So that's a whole process, but yeah. Yeah, I'll say one thing also about this whole process is just making sure that you are checking in with yourself about how much space you're taking up. Sometimes we can get to the point where we think we're an expert on certain things, and in certain spaces people may be looking to you for that sort of insight and information, but you don't want to be in a position where everybody just thinks that you're talking about yourself, or that you're really not allowing anybody else to engage in the conversation. I think this is something you got to do beyond just events and being intentional about it, but you got to be intentional about it in your daily life too. Like, everyone has a different experience, everybody has an opinion, and you got to be open to listening to those people's opinion such that you are able to grow individually as a person as well. It's going to be nice one day when you can give your master class and talk to everyone about all the things you've gone through, but at that point everyone has bought into wanting to hear from you. At this stage you have to be comfortable allowing everybody to have a voice because we're all sort of on equal footing. And I think that's important. No matter how high or how low you go, you got to make sure that everybody understands that that whole process is actually, it's going to be better. It's going to be better if we hear from everyone. It's going to be better if everybody has an input and everybody has something to say, because maybe if you're a big time artist, maybe you forgot about how it felt to be, just starting up. And maybe if you're starting up, you really don't have all the words to say to somebody who's at the top. But that exchange of ideas, that exchange of life is going to be better for everyone who needs to gather something from that conversation. Something else I guess I'll say about this whole process is also making sure you follow up on the connections. And I don't just mean like, oh, after the fact, once you get an email from somebody or like a DM, but like sometimes these connections can happen very quickly. Someone might know somebody who's already here, and you kind of got to be ready to present yourself in a way that it looks right, that's presentable. I had an opportunity to speak with, well, I'm not going to reveal it. That's going to be some lore for later. But I had this opportunity to speak with someone who seems like it could be a very important connection for my own personal life and future. And, I had to be in a position where I knew what I was able to talk about. I guess I would have to say that it's important that you show yourself to be presentable and you show yourself to be, just a person, a human being. Be regular. You don't want to seem like you're too eager to jump on board with something, but too lazy that it doesn't really matter to you. You got to find that middle ground, because you can be excited about something, but you can be excited in a way that, you know, allows you to still engage with people in a way that feels healthy. You know, you don't want an opportunity to be lost because of your personality in a way that's like either negative or positive. If it resonates with your values, like, just don't let it skip. Try to be there for the whole situation. I'll probably do another video about this, but you also got to be comfortable if you're going to be a content creator, creating outside and creating with other people watching you. This is sort of like failure therapy for me, I'd have to say, or I don't know, like just I'm putting myself in the situation where I would normally feel a little bit awkward, and by doing so, I feel like I'm getting better at this process of talking to the camera with other people around and just being in a space where people are seeing me create. This sort of forced creation on my side of my authentic content is making me feel like other people are actually more comfortable seeing me be authentic and be myself. Yeah, this week has done wonders for my mental health, and I'm excited to share that with y'all. Another thing is that you might be in a space where you're gonna see a bunch of like other famous individuals and other people that you may look up to. This is a convention for everybody, but if you go to any event, it might be an event for everybody else as well. You kind of want to be in a mindset and space where, like, let them also enjoy the event too. You don't want to be taking up too much space where other people feel like they can't really be their normal selves and they can't really be in a space where they feel comfortable. You know, also showcasing the things that they find interesting. You know, everybody's here for a different reason, specifically at this convention for NAMM, creative tech, music, performers, everything. Let them enjoy the experience too. It's okay to go up and ask for a picture, but if they decline, be cool with that. It's okay to go up and ask them for some advice if they're willing to give it to you, if they give a presentation, but, you know, be comfortable with their answer as well. They don't owe you anything, like you don't owe anybody anything, so just be comfortable with that shared experience. I gotta say that I actually really love this convention, beyond the fact that I get to see the community all the time, but it just really gives like a stamp to my year. It happens in January, so it's always just like, what have I done since my last time I've been here? And it's always just so nice to share that with the community. But one thing I always do is I always try to share this event so that other people can come out too, other creators can be here too, because I think it's really important that we try to build the community. We have to build the community that we want to see. We have to engage with people in the same way, and we got to make it a safe space for people to be here as well. I'm not ashamed to say that, you know, I love music and I love creativity, and sometimes I am a nerd about it. I nerd out about tech. You guys know this. I nerd out about so many things, and you got to be comfortable with that, and you want to grow a community that also shares and values the same thing as well. There shouldn't be one ideal version of what we're trying to go for. It can be so many different things. The pathway forward is so wide for all of us to be there, and sharing that community, building it up, and making sure that it stays where it needs to be is also a big part of engaging with your community. So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. There's definitely gonna be more on the way. If you have any comments or questions, anything like that, please drop them in the comments below. Comment something. I love engaging with y'all. I love answering questions. I want to be a support system for y'all. So if you guys found this interesting, definitely comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.